In my previous video, I created a cloud function using JavaScript. It is up and running in the Firebase. But today, I want to make some big changes. I want to switch from JavaScript to TypeScript. The reason is because after doing some research, it looks like using TypeScript, you can create some big project because of the strong type mechanism. And I'm new to JavaScript anyway. It doesn't hurt to start picking up a different new language. In this video, I would mainly talk about how to add unit tests to your existing project, because the time you spend in doing testing, you will benefit for long term. After you're making changes, you are sure that you are not breaking any existing feature. Let's get started. Let's go back to the documentation of the function. Firebase init functions. This time, TypeScript. Yes. 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 Okay. Let's see. Oh, it overrides my package.json. Let's change back. I'm still using Node 10. And I got this new TypeScript link file, also the TypeScript config file. Target is ES 2017 module. This is not TypeScript. Where is the... Oh, it's here. Sure, delete first. Okay, now again we have our hello world back, and then we need to migrate this function into TypeScript. Okay, let's do that. Deploy. Set ADA is declared, but its value is never used. So definitely TypeScript has more restrict on how you code looks like. So we don't need this. So the logs give me some warnings about how I use the variable. JavaScript will never tell you about that. So DB is never reassign use const. Request body is never reassign use const. Docref is never reassign use const. So let's do that. Okay, let's see. Now we have two functions. This is the... Okay, let's still use this for testing. Third one, send database. No. Logs. Okay, I do have this logged, but why there's no data? Again. Oh no. It's just slow. Okay, now we have TypeScript. Okay, let's see if we can delete this file, move to trash. After delete the index.javascript is still working. The other important part to start a project and maintain a project is to always write unit tests, so that once you keep adding new features, you're sure that you are not breaking any existing feature, and you are making sure the quality of your software. So let's get started and add the unit test framework for this. Node.js unit test framework. Okay, comparison of unit test framework. Jest. Yeah, I heard about this and I think I used this before. Yeah, so I think I'll just go with Jest, since I tried this before. I'm not pretty familiar, but since it's still popular and still active, it's better to choose which one you're familiar with. It works with Babel, TypeScript, Node, React, Angular, Vue. And since I'm using TypeScript, it's supported. Fast and safe. Code coverage, easy mocking, great exceptions. That's good. So how to get started? Yarn and dev Jest. Okay. Okay, now let's check Jest. Okay, dev dependencies added the Jest, and probably we add a new folder called test, and similar to that one, and that's test TypeScript. Okay, so initialize SDK in online mode. If you like to write tests in the test project, you need to supply project config value that are needed for initializing the app with admin and pass to service left. Okay, after Googling around a little bit, I finally make the testing work. So here is what I did. First of all, I added some of the dependencies. One is called Xenon. Use Jest for testing framework and Chai for assertion library. And this is required for TypeScript Jest. And this is TypeScript Xenon. Yeah. And also the Jest configuration file. So you can use based on the document, you can init from a command line. So it will generate this file. And also adding a few changes. So I exclude the test from here because I don't need to compile the test beforehand. I only need to deploy the source code for testing. It will do by itself using the Jest. And okay, for the actual test, what I did is I declare a database beforehand, and only if I set the environment variable, the node environment is test, I'll actually use my test project credential file, which I put in the same folder as the DB. Otherwise, this is production, just to initialize, same as before. And what else? This logic is pretty much the same. I return the promise based on the documentation of the Google functions. So the Google function would handle if you return a promise, it will actually wait until it's finished. And here's the test. First of all, I import the Google function, the Firebase function here, and I import the response type from Firebase function because Firebase function extend the express response a little bit. I still can use the express response, but this is more accurate. And I import the request from the express, and I write my own mock response function here. I can show you later. And then I use the expect library from Chai. And this type is also needed to check if it's so that I can call the Simon method. I don't know whether there's a better way to do it, but here's what I did. Initialize a request, which given a type, and set the body using the ID and another field blockchain field, and create the response mock object. So I'm using the Sinon or Sinon, and this is mostly copied from the Googling website. And then I call the actual function. So this is actually called my Firebase function. And then I check if the send method has been called. If it's called from this string, yeah, if it's called, it's to be true, because if it goes here, it should be called, right? I also add a debug lunch here, debug Jest test. What I have here, is nothing fancy. So by given that, I can actually test. I can debug the test. For example, if I run here, and it coming out. Okay, so here is the log. Oh, this one. There's a warning. I'm missing blah blah blah. Test passed. This is the log, and this is log at here, line 16. So it's logged. This is this log, and this is the 20. Oh, this is test log here, right? And it's being called by this string. So let's go back to my test project. See, so this one, this is test project. This one get created using the same data. So yeah, the reason I have to set up the test to be working before adding any logic is the test-driven development. I need to make sure no matter what changes I make to the function, I have a test to make sure it works. Okay, now we can keep adding new features. Like I said, I have several different type of data need to be in place to send the signature request. So in the testing, I need to verify if the data really get persistent. Okay, now we need to add some validation. let's deploy. So if I change this to a number, send ID is not string, 2, and like this, send undefined is not string, not string. Okay, now we have our first API up and running in the cloud. We also have the unit test, which makes sure all the function working properly. The next step is to create a new function that can submit your signature to the blockchain. See you next time. Bye.